Yeah, so this one say a few quotes, right, or sayings, however you call them, about certain scholars or even reformers such as Swami Dayanand. What is their perception of the Veda, right? For example, Sayanacharya, for him, he says that the Vedas describe the means of achieving desired objects, means whatever we desire, and it is a way to safeguard oneself, right? So they all say the importance of Vedas as per them. You have even Swami Dayanand, for him Vedas is the storehouse of knowledge. Baldev Upadhyay, it is the main source of our culture, the real gem. Max Mueller, if someone is desirous of making a thorough study of life of the Aryans, it would be the most important for him to study the Vedic literature. The Aryans are those people living in India previously, pre-Vedic times. They were known as the Aryans. Oldenburg, Max Mueller, Oldenburg, the Tibetan Western scholars. So Oldenburg, for him, the Vedas are the oldest document of Indian religion. And as per Manusmriti, the Vedas are the basis of all religions, right? So why I'm giving you this, when you're writing an answer, if you find you can quote any of these, you can quote them, right? Learn one which is easy for you. Let's say Swami Dayanand, what has said, it is the storehouse of knowledge. It is something I can remember. So then you add it in your work, right? These will be very helpful to get marks. So let's see in details the 4 Vedas. It's a bit lengthy today. Let's try to catch up and do all of them, if not at least most of them. So the mantras, as you know, we have 4 Vedas. As you know, we have 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, and Atharva Veda. The Rig Veda, the mantras, the verses from the Rig Veda, they are known as the Richa, right? The mantras of the Rig Veda, they are known as the Richa. There are 10,521 Richas, 1,028 Suktas. Suktas is the different sections, right? And what is the subject? What is the content of the Rig Veda? See, it's very vast. We can't go into many details, like, so roughly, let's see what is the content of the Rig Veda. Like worship of gods, the worship of the demigods, the Agni is the god of fire, Indra, the god of heaven, also known as the god of rain, Surya, the sun, Vayu, the wind, and others. You have many other demigods. So their worship has been elaborated in the Rig Veda. Establishing supremacy of life, like Vishwamitra has said, like the river full of water goes welfare to everyone and never devoid of water. In the same way, offspring, right? Children taking birth through celibate males and females and having attained entire knowledge about celibacy. This is what is called brahmacharya. Celibacy, right? Can do welfare to everyone with their scholarly knowledge, right? So with the knowledge that we have, we can bring goodness, we can bring welfare to the society, to oneself, first of all, no doubt, to our family, to the society, and to the nation, right? So these stuff have been explained in the Rig Veda. Another content of the Rig Veda, the spirit of welfare to mankind. This has also been elaborated in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna, that we need to work for the welfare of people, of mankind. It is called the Loka Samgraha. It's the word used in the Bhagavad Gita. Loka Samgraha means to work for the welfare of others. It's not only of man, but of others, including nature, animals, and all, right? So we need to work for their welfare, for everyone. So that is also explained in the Rig Veda. Moral teachings of perfect conduct, how to have the perfect conduct or right conduct, what we say. Example can be Ram, how to become like Ram. It's all there in the Rig Veda. The proper place, taking care of the subjects, extending hospitality to guests, right? Like we say, the Atithi Devo Bhava, right? Revering the guest as God, that is giving hospitality to them, extending hospitality to them. Possessing proper residence, a nice place to live with the family or oneself. Publicizing learning, enhancing knowledge, protecting all, and ridding oneself of aversions. That is, not to let us be in temptations, not to develop bad qualities and all. These are all virtues which the Rig Veda talk about. Duties of a king. Okay, even the Rig Veda elaborates on the duty of the king or the government, like protection of the subjects, scholars, teachers, means everyone in the society, irrespective of caste, religion, sex, whatever. To help society to progress, this is the duty of a king. To have a moral character, even the person who is the king or even the ministers working in the kingdom, right? With the king, they need to have a good moral character because they will be the path maker, right? They will be the path maker. So they need to be exemplary, right? Take care of his parents. Even the king should do that, taking care of his parents and encourage others. Duties of the subject now. As a king can certain duties, but the subjects also have certain duties. For example, to select a powerful, knowledgeable, humble, brave, justice-loving person to be the king. Because we select the king normally, right? We choose the king. So our duty is to choose the right one. Other content of the Rig Veda, various kinds of human beings, right? We have various kinds of human beings as stated in the Veda. Number one, fools, the greater fools, the greatest fools, the scholars, greatest scholars, and expert in the Vedas. These are the 7 categories of human, and we need to know where we should be, of course. No, Mama, the aim should be here, the greatest scholars or the experts in the Vedas. When will we become that? By reading and all, reading the Vedas and practicing, right? Happiness of mankind is the supreme objective, means of anyone, right? Happiness of mankind should be our supreme objective. Like, for example, helping someone, like giving birth to a child, a righteous child, upbringing of the child, right? So happiness of mankind, happiness is assez vast, bien sûr. So we need to inculcate that in us and help others also to inculcate that value. For example, only that mother is supreme who, through observance of celibacy and having become scholarly, gives birth to her progeny. Now, a woman becoming scholarly, previously in India, how situation was women were not allowed to acquire education, even reading the Vedas and so, right? But yes, even the Vedas have been, there have been the mention of 24 rishikas, 24 women rishis in the Veda. Means they are equally, the women are equally worthy. Yes, here. Donc, and lead them, it should be lead them to the path of progress by educating them well. This is one example I quoted. There are many like this, how we can bring happiness to mankind. Example, here's the mother giving education to the child so that society can progress. There will be happiness at the end. Another content of the Rig Veda is about karma. Karma means action. That is, karma is the basis of human life, for sure, parce que our present life is determined on our past action, and the future is determined on the present action. It's all about karma, or the law of karma. What we sow, so shall we reap. To become a true karma yogi means a good follower of the karma yoga, right? We need to work out, develop the virtues needed, right? Importance of the sacred sanskar, the sacraments. Normally we say there are 16 sanskar, right? So like Namkaran sanskar, Karnabhedi, Viva, funeral, etc. So we need to follow the sanskar, the sacraments, equally important. Importance of som. Now, what is som? Som is an intoxicating juice made of herbs. The mention of som is there in the Rig Veda. What does it do, this juice? It makes the body healthy. This creates delight and joy. It is also known as somras. Ras actually means juice. Som, ras. Does not cause destruction of mind like the wine does. It does not make the body weak, like the alcoholic thing and all. Well, I'm not saying that we need to take into inverted comma the wheats and all. C'est pas ça here. But the som juice was being made and consumed, especially by the warriors, right? Those who were physically strong, and they used their strength in protecting people or the subject and all. So there has been the praises of the som juice in the Rig Veda. So we drink it to be strong and to protect people. So if we needed to reach our aim of life, which is moksha, liberation, we need to aspire to have a healthy body by paying attention, by doing physical exercises, and by doing the yoga, what you call. Say yoga here, it means the exercises, right, which we do. And also pranayama, that is the different breathing techniques. So this is also part of the Rig Veda. We need to sing the praises of God. Sase, basically devotion, right? Coming to devotion has been explained in the Rig Veda. Devotion comes, it is the word bhakti. Bhakti comes from the word bhaj. Bhaj means to have intense love for God, right? Now the devotion can be done in many ways, like singing the chants and all, reciting the mantras, the verses of the Vedas, or helping people, or mankind, nature, protecting nature, animals. All these are forms of devotion, right? Devotion n'est pas seulement like only going to temple, praying, rituals, no? But the vast, you are caring for the nature, it is in itself devotion. The science of yoga here is the exercise yoga. Why I'm saying that because yoga has another meaning as well. Yoga can either mean a path, right? And chemin qui nous amène nous vers liberation. Or yoga can also mean union with God, right? So here we are talking about the yoga exercises, right? In the Rig Veda, there is also mention of the Yajur, of the Ayurveda, right? Ayurveda, you know, what we know today, Ayurvedic medicines and all, the mention are there in the Rig Veda, right? So these medicines, they are what? They don't have chemicals. They have flowers, the fruit, the plants and all, which are used normally by a Vaidya. A Vaidya, say the doctor, the physician, right? The Vaidya will give the medicines to the patients, right? How to do cattle farming, what is the importance, agriculture, and the different crafts to sell are found in the Rig Veda. For example, the importance of domesticating cows, horses, importance of craft, okay, all these have been mentioned in the Rig Veda. Importance of yajna, you call it yajna or yagya, right? It means fire sacrifice. Normally it means fire sacrifice. But if we go in the real significance of the word yajna, if we quote from the Bhagavad Gita, yajna means sacrifice, right? Not animal sacrifice type, sacrifice or working for the welfare of others. This means yajna or yajna, right? So here yajna in this context right now, we are talking about the fire sacrifice. So the Vedic rishis in the Vedvyasya, you know, there is mention of fire sacrifices which need to be done for our welfare, of course, and for the purification of the atmosphere, right? Now, each Ninjatala in Aman Suktas, one sections in the Veda, right? Even in the Rig Veda, we have 1028 suktas, right? So they are all equally important, right? Because they have all the different contents. They teach us about the social organization, our culture, our religion, how to be good, how to live in a society, how our relationship should be, whether it is marital or other, right? There's also the tradition of Niyog. Niyog, say, it has been practiced in the Mahabharata. Well, there is the story in the Mahabharata where there were two widows and they did not have you know, the future king or the heir of the kingdom of Hastinapur. And then you have Vedvyas who had a sexual relationship with those two widows so that they can beget children. That is called niyog, right? Savajya sexual relation for to beget children, right? So Saucy in certain importance, right? Knowledge of medicines, as we said, religion, environment, importance of nature, all these exercising, all these are found in the Rig Veda. Now let's see the content of the Yajur Veda. The Yajurveda is the Veda of the karmas, right? The mantras which are applied for the performance of the yajnas or the mantras of this Veda, right? So the mantras that we use, we apply while performing the yajnas, the fire sacrifices, the prayers. The greatest ritual at that time was the yajnas. Longtemps, to Jumun, every day they were performing fire sacrifices without fail, right? So this is the most excellent way of describing karma, right? The mantra in the Yajur Ved is called Yajuhu, Yaju or Yajuhu in Sanskrit, right? So the Rig Veda generally talk about the qualities of learning, about the sciences which exist, right, through the riches. And then light has been shed in the Yajur Ved on the means by way of which the qualities of those materials can be made use of and maximum benefits obtained. So whatever sciences have been described in the Rig Veda, the same has been elaborated about the ways, about the benefits in the Yajur Veda, right? So more or less, you will find all the contents of the Vedas, more or less, they will repeat somehow, right? One may obtain proper benefits from the incantation of mantras and performance of yajnas if done in right manner and observing all rules, right? So all the sciences are there in the Rig Veda. Now the Yajur tell us how to recite that, the verses, how to do the fire sacrifices, what are the different steps of doing the sacrifices, all are there in the Yajur Veda. We need to pronounce them to recite them rather in a proper manner. A man, despite being of limited knowledge, is conscious at the mental level. This is why the humans have been inspired by the Yajur to bring down into their lives through their activities. Though our knowledge, it is limited, no doubt. We don't know everything. We are not perfect yet, yes. But we try to bring down, we try to inculcate whatever the Yajur tell us. It's all like, when we recite a mantra, we do prayer, for example, in our puja ghar, in temples also, we recite prayers, yes. So good, so far so good, bien bon to recite mantras. But what is the meaning, what is the significance without knowing the significance? Without knowing the significance and meaning of the mantras, it is useless to recite them. So it should be, we should bring down all these into our lives, put into practice, understand what we are doing. If we are doing any kind of ritual, why are we doing it? Why is it important? All these we should know, right? Then only it has the real importance, right? There are 40 chapters in the Yajur, okay? 1975 mantras in the Yajur Veda. Now, Yajur Veda is divided into two. One is known as the Shukla Yajur. Second is known as the Krishna Yajur Veda. The Shukla Yajur Veda, c'est quoi? C'est the collection of mantras of religious performances on different occasions, such as Purnima, the full moon, such as Amavasya, the dark night, right? Agnihotra, Agnihotra is a kind of fire sacrifice, right? So these mantras are found for these particular things, occasions are found in the Shukla Yajur Veda. In the Krishna Yajurveda, you have mantras available in a mixed form, right? So this part is prevalent in north of India, and this one is mostly prevalent in southern part of India. That does not mean the person of North India cannot practice this one or vice versa. No, it was all about, at that time, how things were being propagated to them, right? What is the subject matter? What is the content of the Yajurveda? Human beings have been inspired to offer their prayers to God, yes, yeah, so that we want to accomplish something, we want our desires to be fulfilled, right? So we need to always keep on studying with the other scriptures, right? While keeping themselves in the shelter of God, surrendering oneself to God, right? Being in the shelter of God, and righteous endeavors. We need to perform good deeds, always performing good deeds, right? It is expected of everyone to protect community of human being with their good deeds. Means it is not reserved or restricted to only one particular group of people to protect the community, right? It is the duty of one and all. Be thankful, be grateful to God and worship Him for whatever He has given us. Like when we wake up in the morning, we need to be thankful, grateful. Okay, we have seen the day today. Many people don't have this opportunity to see the next day. Or even when we have something, like we need to be grateful, what you call gratitude, to have gratitude. We are having food, we thank God before having food, etc. Right? We need to believe in God, know the qualities of God. I have written only this one: God is kind, God is a protector, but there are many more qualities you can write. God is omnipresent, He is omniscient, He's omniscient, He's omnipotent. All these things can be written. Now, there are three kinds of speeches. That speech which is spoken at the time of observance of celibacy for perfect study and complete span of life, right? Means a kind of speech. It is a way of speaking, rather. When we say speech, say the way of speaking, the tone, the words, the proper words. One way of speech, say whatever is spoken when we are observing celibacy, right? Celibacy can have different meaning. I told you here celibacy with a brahmacharya. Brahmacharya, like for example, the student life. C'est une façon pour expliquer celibacy. But celibacy also means control upon senses. Like anyone at any age can observe celibacy, can observe brahmacharya. I give you one example. A student, normally his focus should be only studies, nothing about studies. Then when you enter the grihastha ashram, that is, you get married, you have responsibilities and all. Here also we can practice brahmacharya, right? Like a grihasti also can practice brahmacharya. How? By controlling the senses. One simple example is not to have extramarital affair. Okay, not to have extramarital affair is one example. How to practice brahmacharya even in the grihastha ashram. So here, what I want to tell you here, the word brahmacharya can denote two things here. The student life, right, where celibacy should be observed, no doubt. like later we'll go in details kind of an ashram, like lipa bisa ina, sipa boyfriend, girlfriend, no music, live a very simple life, no ornaments, etc. Of course, we can't practice this in today's world, right? So one meaning is the student life, and another one is keeping celibacy at any age, right? So remember that meaning. The one kind of speech spoken when we are observing celibacy, which is spoken for attaining happiness in the performance of various activities, especially the grihast, right? The way we talk for attaining happiness, which is spoken by scholars for offering worships to God. Now, their way of speech is totally different also. What they say, what they utter, nous langage at different ages, they are all different, right? So these are the free speeches elaborated in the Yajurveda. The law of karma again, pareil comme dans Rig Veda, here also in the Yajurveda. Now, a person who performs yajna in accordance with the laws means all the rules and regulations, step by step, laid down by the Ved, is one who enters the vayu through the aroma of the smoke, the yajna, the rainwater. Right. The point here is when we are doing the yajnas properly as written in the scriptures, what happened with that smoke ki sorti from the yajna, from the fire sacrifice? One we said earlier in the Rig Veda, it said that it purifies the atmosphere and we can get rain from that. That's why some Hindus, when there's drought, they usually do fire sacrifices, because it is believed that the smoke of that yajna can bring water also. Now, when we are praying, we are not only purifying, praying for rain and all, but for grains, for air, right? Means for everything, for physical strength, for span of life. So that is the aim actually of performing fire sacrifices. One should perform yajna every day, as stated in the Yajur. But last time I told you, you can get a question, how far can we put into practice the Veda in this modern age? So one point here can be is, the Veda tell us that we need to perform the fire sacrifices every day, yes, but it's not practical for modern man, right? Especially if we talk about grihastis, that is those who got married, right? It is a bit difficult for these modern people, for us modern people, to practice this every day. There's also the mention what kind of altar should be made. That is the place where we do prayer, where we put some murtis, ou bien nous pas mettre murtis aussi, because some people, they pray God without having that form, right? God with a form or formless. So the altar or the place of worship, how it should be made, how it should be purified, right? How to enjoy a happy life, how to aiming a purushartha. Normally we have 4 purushartha, which is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. This is the purushartha, 4 main purushartha. Dharma say righteousness, artha means money, wealth, property, kam say sensual and sexual pleasures, and moksha is liberation, right? Normally, these are the 4 aims of life, the 4 purusharthas, or we call it the aims of life, right? So how to annihilate enemies? Annihilate enemies doesn't mean to go and kill the enemy, of course. So how to get rid of them, how to be away from them, how to develop love for God, virtues, and all. There has been the explanation of the Gayatri Mantra also, description of architectural sciences, characteristics of parents, of friendship, all these are mentioned. The duties of the king, scholars, warrior, everyone, every people of every caste, what are their duties, all have been mentioned in the Yajurveda. How young girls can observe celibacy, they will get their must wish to get a good husband who is good looking, virtuous, etc. Even the boys uh, should engage themselves in sexual activity only to the extent it is required to help them to create progeny and all. Means control of senses, right? Description of the season and the beauties. You have different seasons and different beauties, different things we get at during different seasons. So all these have been elaborated, the creation, the creator, and all. What about the Samved? What are the topics, the content found in the Samved? The mantras are sung in a melodious voice, right? Usually when we like to hear a song, a mantra being recited, we like it to be in a very kind of rhythmic, musical form with a very melodious voice, right? So singing the Samagan brings peace to a disturbed mind. That is, singing it in a very musical way, rhythmic way. Give us peace. It's nice to hear. And we have 1875 mantras.